What if I told you there's a tribe so deeply rooted in nature, they never invented a word for clothes? Not because they can't afford them, or because they don't understand modesty, but because, to them, wearing clothes would be like covering the soul. Today, we journey into a hidden world, a tribe untouched by modern fashion, living in a way that challenges everything we think we know about civilization, shame, and freedom. To understand this tribe's unique lifestyle, we first have to travel deep into the dense rainforests of Papua New Guinea, where hundreds of indigenous tribes live in isolation, many without electricity, roads, or even written languages. Among them is the Korowai tribe, a community that lives high in the treetops, quite literally, in houses perched 40 feet above the forest floor. It's their complete rejection of clothing. For generations, the Korowai people have lived naked, wearing only symbolic items, feathers, leaves, or bark belts, not for protection, but for ritual and identity. There's no shame, no taboo. In their language, there is no equivalent for the word clothes, because to them, clothing has never been a need, only nature. But how did this tradition survive for so long in a world that's obsessed with covering up? We need to dive into their values, environment, and spiritual beliefs. Unlike Western societies, where clothing defines status, gender, and morality, the Korowai have built a culture where the human body is simply part of nature, not something to be hidden. In fact, nudity plays a role in daily life, rituals, and storytelling. It reflects honesty, purity, and connection with the earth. Children are raised without shame. Adults don't teach modesty, but instead, respect for the body and its place in the natural order. And here's where things take an unexpected turn. You might be wondering, if they've lived this way for centuries, what happens when outsiders arrive? When cameras come in, or when missionaries and tourists offer clothes? The answer is both fascinating and heartbreaking. When Westerners first discovered the Korowai in the 1970s, they brought gifts, food, medicine, and clothes. But something odd happened. The tribe didn't use the clothes to wear. They used them as fishing nets, fire starters, and even to wrap food. To them, clothes were strange and pointless. But as globalization crept in, younger generations began to see clothes as symbols of status, not necessity. Some now wear t-shirts gifted by visitors, but only when tourists are watching. Off camera, they return to their traditional ways. This creates a complex dilemma. Should we let ancient tribes continue their way of life untouched? Or should we introduce modern values, even if it risks destroying their identity? And the Korowai aren't alone. There are many other tribes across Africa, South America, and Oceania that live without clothes, each for their own reasons. In the Himba tribe of Namibia, women coat their bodies with red ochre instead of wearing garments, honoring their ancestors and protecting their skin from the sun. In the Surma tribe of Ethiopia, nudity is paired with body paint and scarification, which tells stories of survival, strength, and beauty. In the Yanomami of the Amazon, traditional loincloths or nothing at all are the norm, not the exception. Each culture has its own relationship with the human body, none of them born out of ignorance or poverty, but out of deep-rooted identity and tradition. So here's the real question. Is nudity truly primitive? Or is it a reminder of who we once were before shame was sold to us? Let's break this down even more. What does it mean to not have a word for clothes? It's more than just language. It means the concept is so foreign, so relevant, that it doesn't even need to be described. Just like we don't have a word for something we've never seen or needed. To the Korowai and others like them, the body is not sexualized or commercialized. There are no fashion shows, no dress codes, no judgment. Life is measured by skills, stories, and survival, not by fabric. And this simplicity is exactly what fascinates anthropologists and travelers alike. But it's not all paradise. As contact with the modern world increases, so does the risk of exploitation. Some tribes have been filmed without consent, their nudity broadcast globally for profit. Others are offered money or food in exchange for posing in traditional attire, even when they've already started wearing modern clothes. There's a growing debate. Are we documenting these cultures, or exploiting them? Are we preserving heritage, or turning people into exotic spectacles for YouTube thumbnails? And then there's the health aspect. Do clothes protect us from disease? In some environments, yes. In colder climates, definitely. But in tropical regions like Papua or the Amazon, clothing can actually be harmful, trapping moisture, causing skin infections, and attracting insects. These tribes have developed natural adaptations, diet, plant-based bombs, and immune resistance that's tailored to their environment. And most importantly, they don't feel the need to change what already works. As we wrap up this journey, here's something to think about. What if clothes were never invented? Would we still judge each other based on appearance? Would body image issues exist? Would fashion be an industry worth billions? Or would we just live more freely? The truth is, the story of a tribe with no word for clothes isn't just about nudity. It's about freedom from shame, disconnection from materialism, and a reminder that humanity once lived without filters or labels. Thanks for watching. If you found this story fascinating, give this video a thumbs up and share it with your curious friends. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon. We've got more deep dives into cultures that challenge the way we see the world. And tell me in the comments, do you think modern life has made us more advanced, or just more distracted? Would you ever live like the Korowai, even for a day? Let's talk about it below. I'd love to hear your thoughts.